Hello, kindred spirits. Welcome to the field beyond. Today we're going to do the full moon reading. We're going to see what the full moon has in store for the collective today. We're going to answer the questions, what has come into being? What truth is ready to be illuminated? And what is ready to be released? So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, Spirit. What has come into being for the collective? What has come into being for the collective? We have the Hermit. Okay. Let's get a little bit more here. The Hermit, inward, self-reflection, isolation. So maybe the collective has been doing some self-reflection, inner work, trying to find answers within themselves. Tell us more about the Hermit, Spirit. Or what has come into being. Two of Pentacles. Let me grab one more. And the Death card. Okay, so let's take a look at these cards so far. The Hermit, Two of Pentacles, and the Death card. We have a balance card, this dynamic balance, this ebb and flow between the Hermit and Death. Death as in release, letting go of the old, shedding old skin, making way for the new, right? So this self-reflection and this isolation is giving us insight and a path towards releasing the old. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to get a symbol card to go with that. What has come into being for the collective? What has come into being for the collective? Knowledge. That makes sense, right? When we go within, and do some self-reflection, we gain the knowledge to move forward. We gain the knowledge and the wisdom. We learn the truth of the matter. We learn the truth about ourselves so that we can release the old. I'm also going to do an oracle. Well, we had the Sacred Symbols Oracle. Now we're going to do Angels and Ancestors Oracle. For what has come into being. Seer, see beyond the current situation. So we've gone inward and done the self-reflection. And now we have the knowledge and the sight to be able to shed that old skin. I love it. So now let's take a look at what truth is ready to be illuminated. What truth is ready to be illuminated for the collective spirit? What truth is ready to be illuminated? The moon. Yes, the full moon is doing the illuminating, Spirit. Thank you. So, the moon is a card of hidden truths, the subconscious, and the unknowns and the fears that surround the unknowns, right? So, what truth is ready to be illuminated? Tell us more, Spirit. Six of Swords. Take another one. The Hierophant. Six of Swords. And the Hierophant. What truth needs to be, or is ready to be illuminated? The moon, the Six of Swords, and the Hierophant. So, subconscious, hidden truths, moving on from hidden truths. This is kind of like the bridge, even though it's in water. It's kind of a moving on from one thing to the next, right? You're ready to move on from something that you didn't know into some kind of belief system. You're ready to, maybe you're tired of being in the dark on certain matters. Or perhaps for some of you, this is moving on from a particular belief system or spiritual practice into another, or learning something more about that particular practice or belief. Let's get a symbol card here. I might need to ask a little bit more with the tarot about the Hierophant. That might be, you might be the Hierophant, or it could be an entity other than yourself. Include up into it. It could be another individual as a spiritual teacher, right? Or somebody that's providing some kind of moral guidance. Or it could be some kind of institution like a church or any other societal institution that we as a society decided was the best for everyone. And sometimes it's not, is it? So let's see here. This could be you going against the grain, going against societal norms, moving on from but you're moving on from the dark, being in the dark, not knowing, sitting in the unknowns. Maybe you're the teacher now. We'll see what the symbol cards have to say. What truth is ready to be illuminated? Healer. So for some of you, you are now in a place where you can be the one helping others, right? I feel like for some of you, this is still maybe the moving on part. Maybe you are seeking out this from somebody else, right? Seeking some kind of moral guidance and healing. Either way, it's happening, right? Either you're the one providing this spiritual practice, this guidance, this spiritual guidance, moral guidance, and healing. or you're seeking it out from somebody else. But either way, it's coming from a place of what was once hidden, or being in the dark, or not knowing, moving on to this. Right? So let's go ahead and get a Angels and Ancestors card as well. What truth is ready to be illuminated? Perhaps this truth for some is just the fact that you need the guidance, you need help, you need to seek out healing, you need someone to guide you, you need a spiritual teacher. And for others, it's that you are ready to be that for others yourself. Traveler. Move in a new direction. So this is this traveling again here, right? You're moving on. Oh, let's do this. That's that moving on, moving in a new direction where you were once left in the dark. You didn't know what to do. Maybe you were afraid of the unknowns. But this is you moving in a new direction. Or that you need to, right? Moving towards the healing. Moving towards becoming the healer. Sorry. Okay. So now let's take a look at what is ready to be released. Spirit, what is ready to be released for the collective? A couple that flew out here. Let's see how these play out. We have the Four of Pentacles and the King of Wands. I'm not too sure about those yet. We'll see. Four of Pentacles and King of Wands. I've seen those cards in particular, I feel like quite a bit recently in other readings. These reservation energies, conserving, keeping to your, almost kind of like the Hermit, keeping to yourself, but more like you're just withholding your energy, withholding, spending any kind of currency, whether it's money or time or your own energy. And then the King of Wands is that action energy, that creation energy, that willful energy, that fire. What is ready to be released here? Ace of Pentacles. Let's see, Spirit, what about this Ace of Pentacles? You're releasing an opportunity. Maybe you're releasing Maybe you're releasing holding back from this opportunity. Or maybe maybe you need to go. If this goes with the other cards, it seems to me that you would be releasing one opportunity for another, or one route, or one direction. I see it in all of these questions, really. If you think about it, if you're going within this ebb and flow from self-reflection into releasing the old, gaining the knowledge so that you have the sight to see beyond the current situation, right? This is going from one place to another, right? You're going from inward to releasing outward. The Death card is shedding old skin, or shedding the old, right? So that you can make room for the new. A new beginning, right? With this truth that's being illuminated here, we're seeing that again. You're going from being in the dark to moving on into whatever this may be for you in particular. I think it's a little bit different for everybody. But you're going from I don't know, or afraid of the I don't know, afraid of the unknowns, right? You're moving in a new direction towards either seeking help and healing, or becoming the spiritual teacher, the moral guidance, and the healer for somebody else or others. Now again, in what is ready to be released, this is the action of you releasing the old. If you're releasing this one opportunity, and now the Four of Pentacles seems like it falls in line with the Hermit a little bit, right? It's more of the reservation. Going within, not spending outward. In the King of Wands, the creator, not the creator, but this creative energy, this leader of creation. Oops, I was a little off center there. This was maybe you trying to do the one thing, or maybe this is you moving into the new thing, creating this new. Okay. Let's get a symbol card here. Spirit. What is ready to be released? Meditate. I might pull this one too because it almost wanted to pop out, or my finger got caught on it, sort of. So let's see here. Meditate, to go with what is ready to be released. Meditate in past life. The past life is more about these ancient energies. Releasing the old, perhaps. Meditating and tapping in to the old. Maybe this is how you do the releasing, right? That's what I think this is about. This is you doing the releasing, meditating, tapping into ancient energies, or releasing those that don't resonate with you, right? Now remember, meditation isn't always sitting in silence and trying to silence your thoughts, right? Meditation is how you get into that flow state. You can get into that flow state by or through your creative energy, right? Getting into that flow state through creating, through a passion project, listening to certain music, dancing, chanting, beating on drums. This is how you release one path to clear a way for another. You're almost like cleansing your palette, right? Washing that energy away. It doesn't always have to be a sage stick or salt or water. It can just be through movement, right? I don't know why I felt the need to say that. Maybe that was spirit. Because a lot of people assume, oh yeah, that's fine and dandy to tell me to meditate. When one person's way of meditating could be completely different from somebody else's. I think I'm going to pull some charms too, actually. Let's see here. Start with these. Clear here. Got quite a few, so I'm probably not going to go into detail about everyone, or every single one here. We got a unicorn, a starfish, a wrench, a bow and arrow, a spider, a sword, a cleaver, lots of cutting action here, a wild horse, so we have a unicorn and a wild horse, and a pentacle. So we have these cutting energies, these chopping, releasing type energies. We have the spider who teaches us about interconnectedness. The bow and arrow, either something like focusing on something or fighting something off. I don't really get that with this reading though. Wrench, fixing, or tightening, right? Starfish, we have five, the 5 points, but also the water energy, right? Emotional flow that comes with the full moon. And the wild horse, with freedom. And the unicorn, standing out, being different, being the only one in a particular situation, being different. And the pentacle, this is the opportunity, this is the thing you're moving either away from or the thing you're moving towards, right? Because that's the kind of, a lot of the energies I'm feeling here is moving away from an old way of being or doing things, or even maybe a whole belief system, a whole spiritual practice. You're going from either not knowing enough or being in the dark about it to coming into a whole new belief, a whole new practice. Maybe you're the one that's going to help others. You're the one providing the moral guidance, the spiritual counseling, the healing, or you're seeking it out, maybe even for the first time. You could be reaching out to who you view as your spirit tribe, right? I'm going to do a couple more here and then we'll probably wrap it up. I have these separate. These are my special charms. Alright, try not to take too many here. We have a compass. That's you changing direction, right? We have a frog. Actually, let me show these. Let's do it like this. The compass. Frog. That's that transformative energy, right? We also have Uranus and Mars. I don't know if you can see these or not. got some planet energy here. So like I said, with the compass, we have the changing directions, right? Going from one, see the Two of Pentacles goes with all that too, going from one to the other, right? Going from inward to outward, going from the light to the, going from the dark to the light, going from one path to another. Uranus, that's more of that unicorn energy, right? That rebel, going against the grain, doing it differently, not falling in line. If there was a spiritual practice, you're going against it. This is you maybe paving your own way towards your own new spiritual practice. And this Mars energy, that fire, there's that creation again. The frog transforms from a tadpole, right? And becomes the frog. Okay, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I feel like this was a pretty powerful reading, honestly, and I hope that it was helpful, and I hope it resonated, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.